I think something deeper happened this year. Something that's always been happening. A lot of things have happened this year, and I think these things have cleared our vision. It's been happening. We've been opening our eyes. The illusion of existence has started to peel away a while back. Like in terms of the pandemic, it's you have a very deadly virus that has shut down the human world, and yet there are people who feel the opposite, that this pandemic isn't as deadly as we're told it is. Some people die from it rather quickly, they die horrifically, and some people just brush it off in a couple days. And you could say that if those two things are happening, one's a lie and one's the truth. I mean, and what I think actually has happened is this year we've got to see that there is not just one true reality, that there's multiple. And not just two, but multiple realities. There always has been, but what has happened is, I think up to this point, those realities got along pretty well. But this year, the pain has been too great to keep these realities quiet. And so they're being voiced because there's repercussions and consequences for operating under these realities. And so we're living in a world with multiple realities, which doesn't make sense. It's a paradox to have two opposing ideas exist at once. Opposites have always existed with each other, and they have to, because you can't have good without bad, and you can't have day without night. But in the world, day and night exist at the same time. One part of the world is day, one part of the world is night. But what's happened, I feel, is that those two halves of the world have folded over each other and are trying to exist at the same time, and they're not having it. But it's not just these opposites, it's so many different opposites, so many different choices. All of the choices are being given all at once. It makes no sense, but sense is a human thing. Sense isn't a world thing. It's not a universe thing. The universe doesn't care about human sense. The universe allows us to exist. But we want to put our idea of what is true onto it. Whereas I think this year, the universe is putting its truth onto us. And that's uncomfortable. We've been jettisoned out into space, and the ground that we used to cling on to or put our feet on, and the pillows we rest our heads on, they've been ripped apart. We thought they were there, but we come to realize they were never there. And so what we do have to grab onto are other people, and so we'll fight them and attack them because that's solid, in the hopes that if I beat this person enough with information and ideas and energy, that they'll validate my reality, because I can't let my reality go and give it into someone else's reality, and vice versa. They feel the same way. But I don't think the universe is asking us to give up our reality for someone else. We've been told by some people, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, the universe is infinite. And if it is infinite, that means there's room for all of us. There's room for all of us, and there's room for all our realities. If you look at the world as just a finite physical thing, that can't hold true. But if you think about the limitations of your mind and where your mind actually exists, like you can't point a finger at where your mind is, and you can't point a finger at where your mind ends. In reality, exists in our mind, and we're combating that. We're combating energy. We've clearly seen the world does not operate the way we believed it to. Because if it did operate the way we believed it to, this situation wouldn't arise, and we can continue business as usual. But it hasn't. Things have shifted. Things have gotten weird. Weird because it's unfamiliar. I mean, what's the point of arguing with someone if they actually don't exist in the same reality as you do? Not to say that they're crazy, but just to say that the two of you aren't in the same place. It appears you're in the same place, but that's like me arguing with someone I see on television. I kind of think it's what's happening. We're seeing a lot of people that aren't in the same place argue with each other. So there's no compassion. There's no empathy. It's people scared to death fighting for their reality because their reality is their life. It is their breath. It is their air. This year, I've seen people have opposite experiences with what we believe to be the same stimulus, being a virus, and the response to a virus. Just consider that what you think to be true isn't true for someone else. All you know is your own truth. And all they know is their truth. And just because those things don't add up doesn't mean one's wrong and one's right. There's space for all of us. It gets complicated when you believe that what other people believe to be true are hurting people or possibly hurting yourself. And that's what I see is happening, is that we're looking at the consequences of people's behaviors, their beliefs, how in turn it will hurt each other. There isn't a fight for the overlap of what everyone could agree on. What if the only lie there is that there is one linear story? What if the truth is that everyone's story is actually happening? It could just be what existence wants from us right now, is to open our minds up to the possibility that there are other worlds besides our own. Will you fight to stay in one world, or will you embrace being in all these worlds all at once?